Hello, group. My women supporter of trans men members. I wanted to share a little something with you about my vision for the group and the post that occurred between me and Christian. Um, as far as I'm concerned, oh, by the way, he left. I didn't put him out. Um, he got discouraged. And let me tell you about my vision for the group. It's in the description what that vision is. Um, it's for the women. That group is for women that are going through transition with us. And the intention really is for the men to observe what the women are going through as a result of our transitioning, and for us to contribute to their conversation. I will bring up topics from time to time just to spur activity in the group, and so uh, and the post that I put out never said all of anybody. Um, what I had in mind when I made that post was that I hear a heck of a lot more than goes on in the group about trans men and some of the effects that, uh, well, one effect that testosterone has on many trans men. I didn't say all, um, just many of them. And that the ones that it does happen with, that there are a lot of things surrounding uh, the physical effect of testosterone in our bloodstream. Um, and I could see some of what Christian was trying to say in that post, but I also believe that he went off on a tangent and got very, very long-winded, and I was just trying to calm the dude down. The very behavior that I was talking about, he was actually exhibiting towards me. And I didn't bash him. He didn't bash me. I don't even know where that came from. Did I discourage that kind of tangent going on? Yes. That is why I don't uh, get the men to talk a lot in that group. We have over 50, 60 female to male groups on Facebook that we can go and talk about our stuff in. Um, and it happens all the time. But this group, the difference is that the women that support us do not have a place where they can talk about what it's like for them to be going through a transition that isn't physical in nature. It's all emotional. Unless they're going through, like menopause or something like that, where the hormone levels change. But testosterone as a hormone does change um, our emotions. And that's basically all that post was about, was that, yes, it does make us a little bit more aggressive. Some of us a lot, some of us it calms us down, it goes the other direction. But I really wanted the women to speak up in there and start talking about their partners, their trans men, whose aggression has actually caused them emotional pain. Okay, that is where the whole idea of that post came from. I'm not going to talk about what woman was talking to me when I created that post, but a lot of times we are blindsided by um, this assertiveness or aggressiveness that T causes. And again, I'm not saying all trans men are affected that way. Christian is not. He said it calms him down. So I wanted to hear from guys who it actually does have more of an effect, the opposite effect of calming someone down. As far as I'm concerned, he was not calm in that post. And uh, T-men, and I see this in a lot of groups, get triggered by the simplest things. And this doesn't come from a place of blaming it on the testosterone. It's literally people bringing their stuff into their transition into taking tea, which is why therapy is so, so important. Because a lot of times there's issues going on with somebody and they start testosterone, which intensifies whatever they had going on pre-tea, because they're not working through their issues at all. For me, I have worked through a lot of my major faults and blemishes, and I don't want to discourage discussion, but I do want to discourage things like, oh, well, that's bullshit. That's what I was discouraging in that post, because it's not bullshit for me. It has caused me to feel more aggression. And again, I put a post at the end that states that aggressiveness also has positive aspects to it. It's not all about it being a negative. But again, that is why I discourage man talk, a lot of man talk in that group, because it easily gets out of control. And I want to spur, I wanted the women to actually speak up that I've actually personally talked to about the effects of that particular topic in their relationship, what is happening to them. I did put another post below, which I asked Christian to actually say all that stuff in that post. But the one that I created came from a conversation that I had with a woman, not a man. Okay? And I've heard it before, many times before. So I wanted to put that out there so that the ladies could tell the men, look, this is really happening sometimes. It's happening to me. Is it happening to all of them? No. But again, in communications, we need to be careful about using the word all trans men this, all trans man that. I have never said that about anybody, because they all do have different experiences. I mean, just different labels, different genders, no gender. There's a lot going on. But this group is about masculine identified men with women. That's all. I'm not going to put anybody out of the group because they get into it with me, or if they get into it with anybody else. But if they get disrespectful, I'm going to say something. And to me, saying what you're saying and what you're experiencing is bullshit is disrespectful. So in a way, I felt a little bashed by that comment, because I am experiencing exactly what I put in that post. Do I come across that way with women? For the most part, no, because I know what to do when I'm feeling that way. And I just didn't want it to get so carried away as it did. And anyway, I wanted to put that out there, that my vision is for the men to learn how their women, their friends, and their family are affected by our transition, including the medication, including whether their men are in therapy or not, including whether they're being responsible for how they're coming across. And sometimes, for a long time, I didn't even know it. I didn't. As I was changing, it was like, sometimes when your body changes, that's hard to recognize as it's happening. You see it after the fact. And so that is the way that aggressiveness occurred with me, which was it took a while of me actually looking and seeing what the women were saying in the group, and some women in my life were saying about how I was changing. That's all. How I was changing. And I just needed to recognize that and to be responsible for that. To be self-correcting, like I said, self-efficacy, and things of that nature. So, no, man, Mr. Dallas, I don't have a problem with what you said. Um, but I think everything was a little taken out of context, in that uh, the purpose of my group is not clearly understood by everybody who joins my group, which is why I encourage people to look at the description and understand the description, and that it's not a female to male group, and it's not a male to female group, where we're working things out in there. We're in there to help the women. We're in there to assist them, to explain who we are to them, how we're being to them, which isn't talked about in FTM groups. Uh, FTM groups, to me, tend to be a little bit more self-centered than being around our partners and our family and our friends, to be about them. I want us to be about them. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say for now. But I will get back and make another video about what I was actually talking about with regards to testosterone. I'm not blaming anything. I'm too old to play those games. Okay, I'm 59 years old. I left the blame game alone a long time ago. So I don't blame testosterone on anything. I'm just saying there are some things that it automatically does to some of us, including me. If it doesn't do that to you, great. But if it does, watch how it comes across to our supporters. That is what that group is for. Our supporters. We get to stand by and watch and help in a discussion about what they're saying. See y'all later. I got to go.